fiery preacher, Pastor Tunde BAKARE, a man who has been aspiring to become president or vice president of Nigeria, on Sunday said the state of the nation today does not represent Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the man that he knew. He warned that unless the president woke up from slumber or death, his legacy was in grave danger of being confined to an unsavory side of history. BAKARE, in a State of the Nation broadcast, said, "I am compelled to speak out because this is not the Nigeria General Muhammadu Buhari and I had dreams to create when he invited me to be his running mate in 2011. I am compelled to speak out because the State of the Nation does not represent the Buhari I knew when we took that solemn journey towards rebuilding Nigeria. I am compelled to speak out at this point because, given the state of the nation, the legacy of President Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, is in grave danger of being confined to an unsavory side of history. I am indeed compelled to speak out because Nigeria is in a state of emergency." BAKARE is the founder of the Citadel Global Community Church, said the nation's survival is hanging in the balance and that the nation has been rushed to the emergency room. It could die there or probably survive. The diagnosis indicates that a surgical procedure is unavoidable. The longer it is postponed, the more she stands to lose, and the longer it will take for her to recover. The purpose of this address is to present the facts of this diagnosis and point a way out of our current crisis, even as we approach a critical juncture in the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The purpose of this address is to ensure that the administration of President Buhari finishes strong and breaks the jinx of the second-term curse. BAKARE said, as laudable as the achievements of Buhari during his first tenure were, the current state of the nation was a clear indication that these efforts have been insufficient in dealing with national problems. They have been unable to address the underlying problems of the Nigerian nation. The major limitation of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has been the failure to appreciate the fact that the problems of Nigeria are more deeply rooted than those honest efforts can reach, and that what is required is a holistic and systematic approach to governance. Unfortunately, after winning re-election in 2019, rather than do a deep dive to address the fundamental causes of our national malady by dealing with the root causes of insecurity, corruption, and joblessness, the administration of Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria, decided to treat more symptoms by broadening its agenda. Instead, we have spent time papering over cracks and dressing windows while the weak foundational structures are crumbling under the weight of neglect, he said. On security, BAKARE said the president must intensify the clampdown on terrorism and banditry by expanding support to the armed forces in terms of technology, armory, logistics, prompt action on military intelligence, as well as inspirational leadership to sustain the morale of the newly appointed service chiefs. Beyond this, the devolution of policing powers to the subnational government must be prioritized, saying that the state governments must be empowered to form local police forces and to provide cutting-edge training and equipment for these forces. Is Pastor Tunde BAKARE speaking to a Nigerian president that has eyes but does not see, that has ears but does not hear, that has tongue but cannot speak? Or is the pastor speaking to the presidency? But Mr. Pastor, you are still speaking in tongues. Speak and translate to action. That is what revolution is all about. Well, that is just what it is. You don't speak to someone who cares less. You were just part of the show in those days. They felt the only way he could get back into that presidential villa, ASO-ROCK, probably to settle his family, settle himself, treat the health issues he has, and to also say, yes, I came back like every other person. That is the reason why he wanted you as a running mate. It's just because you're from the south of Nigeria and he feels that you're a pastor, you're a Christian, even though you have Islamic background, Muslim background. And if that was a good match, a Muslim president and a Christian vice president, at the end of the day, what do we have? We have a pastor, a professor, a lawyer who has been kicked into the corner. He has been relegated because the constitution does not permit the vice to speak. You cannot. You only do what your boss tells you, the president. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? There is nothing in the first tenure of Buhari that points to achievement. This is tales by moonlight. Buhari lacks the ability. Cognitive reasoning, 0. Intellectual, 0. Buhari cannot answer simple questions when asked at the United Nations. He can't. Even when journalists ask simple questions from Buhari, he does not understand. The man cannot. It's not because he's old. It's because he's not educated. He's not that kind of person that has been exposed to national, probably in the army, back in those days when things were what it is in Nigeria. Do not forget that army, military, they are kind of local to their nation and all of that. That is the only time Buhari could perform, because military men don't need too much of education per se. Just be mean, be difficult, attack people, do stuff like that, and get some people that are educated to run 1 or 2 shows and here and there. And all they talk about is discipline, discipline, discipline. That's all. Buhari cannot operate in this present complex world, society that we live in. It cannot. Having him there is just the greatest scam that was sold to Nigerians. Now, I'm not telling you that we do not have educated, intelligent criminals. We do have them. We even have young, educated, intelligent criminals. It doesn't make a difference. It's just that it is worse if you have someone who is not ready to do anything, somebody who is hell-bent on being tribalistic, someone who does not even have an idea. He only repeats what they tell him and all of that. It is worse. That is why things are happening this way. So let us stop beating around the bush. Let us call a spade a spade. That's it. Let's call a spade a spade. Pastor Tunde Bakare, I think it's time for you to say more. I know he has that ambition to become president of Nigeria. And from the look of things, it seems he might not be able to smell that position anymore. But it's time for you to call on Buhari, your man, and tell him exactly what it is. Well, according to some people out there, they said Buhari is dead. The person there is an impostor. Is that true or not? What we have on our hands is serious. Security issues, economy issues, human rights, and a host of other challenges that we have. It's a mystery.